And Ryan is looking down.
That was a really annoying. He shouldn't have done
I'm
that.
very happy because I think he just broke a record.
Watching the Trump.
As the Bible teaches us, there is no greater act of love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Ryan laid down his life for his friends.
Watching the speech. It's pretty good.
And we will
Never been great.
Ryan.
I was about to say they better all stand up on that. I believe Rick, you're giving a speech, you shouldn't clap right in front of the mic.
To those allies who wonder what kind of a friend America will be, look no further than the heroes who wear our uniform. Our foreign policy calls for direct, robust, and meaningful engagement with the world. It is American leadership based on vital security interests that we share with our allies all across the globe. We strongly support NATO, an alliance forged through the bonds of 2 world wars that dethroned fascism and the Cold War and defeated communism. But our partners must meet their financial obligations. And now, based on our very strong and frank discussions, they are beginning to do just that. In fact, I can tell you the money is pouring in. Very nice. We expect our partners, whether in NATO, the Middle East, or in the Pacific, to take a direct and meaningful role in both strategic and military operations and pay their fair share of the cost. Have to do that. We will respect historic institutions, but we will respect the foreign rights of all nations, and they have to respect our rights as a nation also. Free nations are the best vehicle for expressing the will of the people, and America respects the right of all nations to chart their own path. My job is not to represent the world. My job is to represent the United States of America. But we know that America is better off when there is less conflict, not more. We must learn from the mistakes of the past. We have seen the war and the destruction that have ravaged and raged throughout the world, all across the world. The only long-term solution for these humanitarian disasters, in many cases, is to create the conditions where displaced persons can safely return home and begin the long, long process of rebuilding. America is willing to find new friends and to forge new partnerships where shared interests align. We want harmony and stability, not war and conflict. We want peace wherever peace can be found. America is friends today with former enemies. Some of our closest allies decades ago fought on the opposite side of these terrible, terrible wars. This history should give us all faith in the possibilities for a better world. Hopefully, the 250th year for America will see a world that is more peaceful, more just, and more free. On our 100th anniversary in 1876, citizens from across our nation came to Philadelphia to celebrate America's centennial. At that celebration, the country's builders and artists and inventors showed off their wonderful creations. Alexander Graham Bell displayed his telephone for the first time. Remington unveiled the first typewriter. An early attempt was made at electric light. Thomas Edison showed an automatic telegraph and an electric pen. Imagine the wonders our country could know in America's 250th year.
Come on.
Think of the marvels we could achieve if we simply set free the dreams of our people. Cures to the illnesses that have always plagued us are not too much to hope. American footprints.
It was just half a second. Are you gonna high five me or no?
Millions lifted from welfare to work is not too much to expect. And streets where mothers are safe from schools where children learn in peace.
Was that your phone?
And jobs where Americans prosper and grow are not too much to ask. When we have all of this, we will have made America greater than ever before. For all Americans, this is our vision. This is our mission. But we can only get there together. We are one people with one destiny. We all bleed the same blood. We all salute the same great American flag. And we all are made by the same God. When we fulfill this vision, when we celebrate our 250 years of glorious freedom, we will look back on tonight as when this new chapter of American greatness began. The time for small thinking is over. The time for trivial fights is behind us. We just need the courage to share the dreams that fill our hearts, the bravery to express the hopes that stir our souls, and the confidence to turn those hopes and those dreams. From now on, America will be empowered by our aspirations, not burdened by our fears, inspired by the future, not bound by failures of the past, and guided by a vision, not blinded by our doubts. I am asking all citizens to embrace this renewal of the American spirit. I am asking all members of Congress to join me in dreaming big and bold and daring things for our country. I am asking everyone watching tonight to seize this moment, believe in yourselves, believe in your future, and believe once more in America. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States.
What the hell?
President Donald Trump, in his first address to a joint session of Congress, speaking for about 60 minutes, interrupted 94 times by applause, standing ovations very rarely, including Democrats in the chamber, with a few exceptions. The biggest, most notable, a sustained standing ovation honoring U.S. Navy SEAL Ryan Owens, killed 1 month ago in a raid in Yemen. This seemed to be by far the most powerful moment in the speech, with Owens' widow Karen looking heavenward during the applause, saying, "I love you, baby," as she cried. The president began by honoring Black History Month, condemning a series of hate incidents across the country, including attacks and threats on Jewish synagogues and cemeteries, adding, "While we may be a nation divided on policies, we are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all its forms."
Speech had a lot in it, a lot of emotion, a lot of different sort of peaks and different feelings as he went through it. He talked early on in the speech about what he saw as the earthquake that began with tremors across the nation in 2016, that he said moved across the country, creating the movement that propelled him to victory, because he said that everyone in that movement wanted to put, quote, America first. He went for a time, also in the early part of the speech, to his business roots. He heralded the $3 trillion added to the stock market since November the 8th. He talked about border walls. He talked about cracking down on illegal immigration. Both of those met with scowls on the Democrat side of the aisle, and Republicans jumped to their feet there. He spoke mostly, I would say, overall, in terms of we, a little bit less in terms of I that we've heard from him in the past. He barely digressed from his text. There were a couple of exceptions. One of them was that emotional moment with Ryan Owens, when he said Ryan would be proud. He's looking down on you from heaven, and I think he broke a record in the amount of time with thoughts.
Let's listen in if we can hear some of these conversations on that camera on the floor. We should note that a lot of the Democrats seem to leave the chamber early here. There aren't that many on that side of the aisle. Stay for this handshaking as he leaves the chamber. He mentioned the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, talking about protecting American workers, calling for free but fair trade, pitching a new massive infrastructure project funded by public and private capital. President Trump mentioned the 34th president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and the building of the interstate highway system, that massive bipartisan bill that Eisenhower got across the finish line.
And he ended like this. He talked about a new chapter of American greatness. He said the time for small thinking and trivial fights is behind us. And then this, a very strong finish: believe in yourselves, believe in your future, and believe once more in America. We were told this was going to be an inspiring, uplifting speech tonight, Brett. And I think he hit the mark.
I mean, it's very optimistic.
Absolutely.
Let's bring in our panel as we watch the president leaving the chamber here. Rick Hume, Chris Wallace, David Perino, Juan Williams, and Tucker Carlson. Rick, your thoughts?
Well, you may have heard me say earlier that these are very difficult speeches to write because you're trying to find a balance between trying to be stirring and moving and also to list all the programmatic things you want to do. I thought this talk struck the balance as well as I've ever seen it struck. And of course, he was tremendously aided by what I would say I've watched about 40 of these over the years, addresses to joint session. the most emotional moment I've ever seen was Ryan Owens' widow standing there receiving the points for her husband and his service, and reading she did. It was absolutely riveting television. It was a powerful moment, badly heartfelt on her part, and on that story was his idea of selecting her to be there, recognizing her as she did, and then the criticism of the mission, and whether he was truly concerned about it, and whether he was blaming others. I think he swept all that away tonight, and it was certainly a stunning moment. And not many unforgettable moments in State of the Union or State of the Union style addresses. This was certainly one that we'll all remember for a long time.
He mentioned specifically that he had spoken with General Mattis earlier today because of the story earlier today about the mission.
Man.
Didn't gather any real meaningful intelligence, and he wanted very much to clear that up and talked about his discussion with General Mattis, who assured him that yes, indeed, there had been very actionable intelligence that was gathered. In fact, that mission where Ryan Owens lost his life, he was also quite worried.
36 years ago, Ronald Reagan reinvented the speech in the joint session of Congress. He was the one who introduced the idea of having people up in the gallery and creating not just a programmatic message, but a deeply emotional message. And Donald Trump reinvented it again tonight, 36 years later.
Oh, man.
I thought it was by far the best speech I've ever heard Donald Trump give. It was one of the best speeches in that setting I've ever heard any president give. He certainly kept.
Alright, I'm gonna get off. There ain't too many people on tonight watching me. I just wanted to say, very proud of this country. I love the United States. Donald Trump did an excellent job on his speech. Very good moment. It's still going to be a long battle with the Democrats. You can tell by their reaction to some of his speech, and he's just going to have a difficult time with them. Yeah.
7, 8 coach pitch registrations are closed. I mean, they're full.
That's good.
No,
That's
that
just,
means there's some kids 13, which means they'll get less.
we'll get less. What do you mean?
They'll get less. It'll take them longer to go through.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think you can have, 12 a team? For 10 a team?
I think I can have 12 to 14 per team.
Yeah, it's 14 per team. I won't be like, listen, you got
Because they can have first, second, shortstop, third. First, second, shortstop, third. Catcher, pitcher.
38 days ago when he was sworn in.
Right field, center field, left field.
They let kids pitch, or coach pitch have one extra.
So you think?
No, they do. First, second. They have, instead of just 3, they have 1, and then 2 center fielders, and then a 4th. That's too much space.
If they have too many people, bet you they'll have more than that.
That'll be stupid.
Either as a private citizen, a candidate, and then since he's been president.
Heather said Matt wasn't at T-ball.
And they're fun and they're raucous, they're energetic.
He did.
Maybe he's just not coaching. Maybe he's just going to take the year off. Coaching, but just let his kids play.
He sort of set the marker. It's the only time
His wife has been dead a year.
He didn't use humor as much
Said
as
it's
I
a-
think that he could because the couple of times that he
Yeah.
was on the script.
What do you want me to say?
That was very sad. She passed away on our vacation.
Heather tried to argue with me about when we were in Atlanta.
Well, she argued.
No, it was in February. No, it happened while we were in Atlanta, and that was in March.
We take a quick break.
Yeah.
When we come back,
I was like, I remember because we had considered coming home early. Why can't I sit on you?
You can't. Oh, God. Anyways, I'm just going to say bye to my viewers on YouTube. If you want, catch me on Twitch. But I will start streaming soon. Bye to my followers. If any left when people are out there, please give some thought to Donald Trump and what he said, because a lot of his stuff y'all would agree with, but y'all are being very hard-headed.
Ooh.
Left-wing people.
You're not even talking to anyone. You're just talking because you're weird.
Yeah, but maybe someone will.
I'm going to bed.
Maybe someone will see it on my. Someone will randomly pass it, and gain some knowledge from this.
I'm going to bed.
Women don't know much about politics. Watch this, y'all. Who's the vice president? Come on, for real. Who's the vice president? Do you know? Mike Pence, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Pence.